So before I get into this commentary, I kind of want to give you guys a possible warning for spoilers. I mean, this starts at the beginning of the game, the very beginning, and there might be a little bit of spoilers in this video. If you haven't played the game yet or started yet, you might not want to watch this video. But I got done being The Last of Us last night, and all I have to say was it was an excellent single player experience. I pretty much loved it throughout, but it did kind of start off with a rocky start. I mean, I'm gonna start talking about the bugs and glitches. I mean, when I got home and I put the game in my PS3, I tried update 1.01, and it pretty much started like hard resetting my PS3 like 5 times in a row, which was kind of pissing me off a little bit. Eventually, it worked, and then after that, I figured out that the update was designed to fix the autosave glitch or whatever. And sure enough, I somehow encountered that glitch early on in the game, and I lost quite a few hours of gameplay, which kind of pissed me off a little bit. I was kind of disappointed that this update that was supposed to fix that didn't. And I know a lot of people on my friends list have been complaining about it. And it was an article in IGN I saw on the Naughty Dog forums that people were having this autosave glitch issue happen to them. Kind of pissed me off. It happened to me too. And on top of that, once I beat the game, I did not get any trophies, which right off the bat, I mean, I was about to like fucking grab this PS3 and like toss it in the dryer or some shit and like fucking ram it or something. I got super pissed. I went on the forums, I let them know about the issues. I specified I have like an old fatty 80 gig or whatever, trying to help them out so they can help me out. I haven't really gotten a reply yet, but I looked around the forums, people told me to like, well, some people said that they fixed this issue by like replaying the last chapter, and it actually worked for me. I went through my first playthrough on hard. This video's being recorded when I'm doing my second playthrough on survivor or whatever. But on my first playthrough on hard, I got no trophies. I went back to the last chapter. I replayed it really quick, and I got the trophies for hard and normal. I didn't get easy for some reason. Then I just replayed the last chapter on easy, and I got that trophy. A little funny. I've been hearing people saying they're also having issues with the trophies. The trophies in this game, like most of them are kind of based on collectibles and just completing the game. They aren't really like trophies like Uncharted for like killing 50 enemies with AK or something. It's a little bit different than that. I think it's good. I think it keeps the game focused on its narrative throughout the single player, which is a good thing because it's like I said, it's an excellent single player. You don't have little trophies popping up here and there that kind of detract from the experience of the immersion of the gameplay. But like I said, the narrative was top tier. I feel like this is Naughty Dog's best single-player excursion yet, and it's pretty funny playing this game, seeing as how I've been following Naughty Dog for a while. I've been enjoying their works, and it's a pretty stark contrast from Naughty Dog's previous works. Back in the old school days, Crash Bandicoot, I loved Crash Bandicoot. Jak and Daxter was an awesome series, and then of course the Uncharted series, which was a little bit more serious than the other ones, a little bit more realistic, I guess, but it still was a little bit lighthearted. But this game is a pretty stark contrast. It is very gritty, very mature. It covers some very serious subject matter, in terms of violence and other things I won't spoil. But like I said, this is a very mature game, but it covers these themes and subject very tastefully. It's not like it's jokey or it's done sloppy. Like it's all done very tastefully. It's just beautifully well done. It's a very cohesive story and narrative, and I simply loved it. I would say this is probably my favorite single player game on the PS3 I've played in a long, long time. And this isn't to say the plot of the story is super original, post-apocalyptic or whatever, but they do a really good job of immersing you in the world with the little details. Just by checking things out, you just learn a little bit more about the environment, and like there's like these little random chats you can talk with characters about and observe the environment. There's like the game tells its story not just through narrative but visually as well, just by inspecting your environment and such. And it just all comes together to make an excellent package. And like I said, this is a perfect example of games really showcasing their strong point in terms of we're finally getting games that are getting really good and strong narratives. Whereas, back in the old school days, there weren't really the best narratives, and they sometimes had their fair share of cheese and stuff. But like I said, this game really illustrates that storytelling can be done at a top tier level. And like I said, it's pretty hard to be original these days when it comes to storytelling, but if it's done well enough, it doesn't really matter. And I feel like Naughty Dog once again proves that they are masters of crafting and weaving strong, narratives. And this isn't like an RPG. And when people think of good stories and games, they usually think of RPGs, but Naughty Dog has always told great and fantastic tales, starting from, the Uncharted series to The Last of Us being their best storytelling yet, in my opinion. they have proven that they can weave an excellent tale on a very linear format. And I have to applaud them for that because it's very difficult to, keep people's attention, especially when it's so heavily guided. And like I said, most of the times people get kind of, attached to characters. Like in games, usually with RPGs, just because, it's their little character. And like I said, in Mass Effect, I love Mass Effect, but that's a little bit more open-ended storytelling. It's not super on rails, but this is very much on rails, and I definitely cared about the characters. I definitely cared about Joel. I definitely cared about Ellie. And there, you come across other characters in the game as well, and you kind of get a little bit of taste about them. But usually they just play supporting roles, and like I said, the voice acting and the digital performance by the characters and stuff is just top of class. Like it truly does make games really look like they can definitely compete with the cinematic experiences found in films. So I mean, like I said, I've said a lot of positive things about the narratives. When it comes to the gameplay isn't super original, but it is very unique considering the gaming industry right now seems to be in a very fixated niche when it comes to blockbuster action, explosions, buildings falling, explosions every 5 minutes, massacring waves of enemies. This game is not like that. It's a very slow paced, and honestly, when I completed the game, overall, it kind of reminded me of Tomb Raider, and how Tomb Raider kind of failed a little bit. But I mean, I'm not saying Tomb Raider is bad. It's just when you beat the game in Tomb Raider, it kind of says a survivor is born, and that's kind of the theme, a survivor or whatever, turning Lara Croft into survivor. But, the game very much starts out in Tomb Raider kind of insinuating that's a little bit about survival, but after your first kill on, like, an enemy, which was, kind of triggered by an uncomfortable event that was, brought upon Laura, it kind of just goes full-on action mode, and there's no real, seriousness taken about killing waves of enemies anymore. Or in The Last of Us, it contains that very serious tone of death and, killing and murder. Throughout the entire game, it takes it very seriously, and, like, the survival aspect is maintained throughout the entire game. Like, I played the game on hard, I talked to some people who played it on normal or whatever, and it seems like the difference between difficulties more or less is the supplies given to you by the game. And I played it on hard, I couldn't really play it on Survivor, but this video is taking place when I'm playing it on Survivor. The difference in difficulty seems to be more or less, I think you die a little bit quicker, but the key difference is you get a lot less supplies, so you really kind of have to, be very thoughtful in what you do, take action. Like, I guess you can play it however you want, but most often you want to be stealthy, you want to, avoid attention. Guns are actually kind of a last resort, like, when shit's fucked up and it's all going down, you gotta bust out the gun in self-defense, but more often than not, what you really want to do is be careful, conserve your supplies, go for stealth kills, or in some situations, I just walked past or snuck past the entire room, and you can do that. I feel like this game is a true survival game. And I'm not saying it's a survival horror because it's not really scary by any sense, but it's definitely Survivor. You're going to want to, the goal is for you to survive just to get by. A lot of times I got by encounters by like a hair, or sometimes I did it perfectly, which is pretty satisfying to get past an entire area and like not get spotted and not get hit at all. It feels pretty good. It feels pretty satisfying. And like some people might struggle with this. And I'm not sure. Some people might be turned off by the slow pace. I'm going to tell you right now, the game kind of starts off a little bit slow, but it definitely picks up and it finds its pace. And it maintains it throughout the entire game. And there's some ups and downs. And there's some breathers. But like I said, the pacing in the single player is top of the line. It's definitely the best in the industry. Like I said, Naughty Dog has definitely cemented themselves as being, one of the best, single player storytellers, or just game developers in general, and I have to give them props once again for creating such an excellent single player campaign. I haven't really touched on the multiplayer yet. I'll do a separate video talking about it, but I kind of looked around about the multiplayer, and like I said, there doesn't really seem to be much to it. There's like 2 modes, and like there's like this little circle petri dish, which I guess is the clan system, where you have these imaginary people you're trying to keep alive, and you get supplies, you win matches, and you get more people in your clan. And it doesn't seem that interesting. The gameplay does seem solid. Like I do feel like it has potential, but the lack of modes and in general, it just looks like there wasn't a lot of attention given to the multiplayer, even though the gameplay mechanics do seem promising. But like I said, I'll do another separate video about that. But I mean, one thing you probably have noticed by now if you kept watching is the visuals in this game are top tier. Like visually, the game is a stunner. I mean, I wouldn't say it's easily the best PS3 game. on the platform, and I would say it almost looks as good as some of these next gen titles. Maybe not. Obviously, the lighting has like the console has its limits. It's a pretty old console, but it's still pumping out visual stunners like The Last of Us. It just shows Naughty Dog really has a firm understanding of the platform, and I have to give them another round of applause for that, for really squeezing out every ounce of the PS3 has to offer. But like I said, visually, it's beautiful, enough said. But I mean, visuals can only get you so far. When it comes to musical score, it definitely delivers. I'm not a huge music guy, but I felt like the music in the game, perfectly fit the entire mood of the game throughout. There's definitely some memorable tracks too. I definitely enjoyed, the audio part of the game. And noise plays a big part in the game with, listen mode and stuff, which I know some people have been complaining, like, oh, you can see people through walls, but in the single player, I don't really care if I can see people through walls. Some people compare it to detective mode or something, which I kind of guess. If you haven't played Batman, that's the thing you use to kind of see enemies in Batman. But it's kind of like that. But I heard it's in the multiplayer. I heard you can't really spam it, so I guess that's a good thing. But like I said, I haven't really played it, and I do feel like the ability to see players through walls has no place in a multiplayer game. But in the single player, who really cares? You're just trying to play. You're just trying to get by. If they give you something to see through walls, what's the big deal? But like I said, I feel like the musical score in this game and just the audio in general, from the little details to the people, some of the best parts in the game, listening wise, are just some of the random conversations you could have that weren't even taking place during cutscenes. Like, they were pretty meaningful. Ellie has like this little joke book, and it's pretty amusing to listen to her say some of these jokes. And when you're playing through the game, Ellie, kind of a spoiler, I guess, but Ellie was kind of born into the apocalypse, whereas Joel kind of lived, when civilization was, still thriving before the apocalypse. And Ellie, it's pretty awesome to like see Ellie's kind of like perception as she looks around the environment and asks these questions about how life was before, because Ellie, she doesn't really know what it was like before. She was born into, basically Shitsville, or the mushroom apocalypse that kind of is The Last of Us. That's all she's ever known. It's very interesting, to see that interaction between someone who lived prior to that, before the Earth went to shit or whatever, and as someone that pretty much was born into it. It's pretty interesting, and that definitely is a key plot point in the game that I enjoyed, experiencing and seeing throughout. Well, like I said, I've said a lot of positive things about The Last of Us. Ultimately, I just want to say you guys should definitely check this game out. There's been a lot of people on my friends list who've kind of been jumping into that multiplayer and like talking about it. I didn't really care. I kind of just wanted to play the single player. That's the main reason why I bought it for. I'm gonna hop on the multiplayer eventually, but when it comes to the single player, which is what I got it for, that isn't to say I buy games for for one thing. Obviously, I prefer if every game had great multiplayer, great single player, but ultimately that doesn't really happen. And I felt like the key focus with Naughty Dog in this game was clearly the single player, and I felt like it totally delivered. It was an excellent experience, and I'm sure if you're still listening to this, I would tell you to stop listening to this shit and go check it out, play that single player. It's not going to be for everyone. It's pretty mature, it's pretty gritty, but I feel like if you keep an open mind and you just go along for the ride, I feel like you're at the very least not going to hate the game single player wise. I feel like you might get some enjoyment out of it. I loved it. I feel like a lot of people will love it. As you can see, the reviews out there, they've all been fairly positive, but enough is enough. Definitely check this game out. I don't really have much to say. There's still a few minutes in the video. I'm thinking about doing a walkthrough for the game. I don't know if you guys care or anyone's gonna watch it, but I could definitely do a walkthrough of the game completely on like Survivor difficulty or something. I don't know if that'd help you guys out, but I'm debating on doing a walkthrough. You guys let me know in the comment section below if you want me to play through this entire game or something. But that's it for this commentary. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Oh no. Sarah. Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. Listen to me. I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby. I know it hurts. Come on, baby. Please. I know, baby. I know. Sarah. Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on. No. No. No, 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 no. Please.
The number of confirmed deaths has passed 200. The governor has called a state of emergency.
There are hundreds and hundreds of bodies lining the streets.
Panic spread worldwide after a leaked report from the World Health Organization showed that the latest vaccination tests have failed.
With the bureaucrats out of power, we can finally take the necessary steps.
Los Angeles is now the latest city to be placed under martial law. All residents are required to report to their designated quarantine. Riots have continued for a third consecutive day, and winter rations are at an all-time low.
A group calling themselves the Fireflies have claimed responsibility for both attacks.
Their public charter calls for the return of all branches of government.
Demonstrations broke out following the execution of 6 more alleged Fireflies.
You can still rise with us. Remember, when you're lost in the darkness, look for the light. Believe in the Fireflies.
I'm coming.
How was your morning? Want one?
No, I don't want one.
Well, I have some interesting news for you.
Where were you, Tess?
West End District. Hey, we had a drop to make.
We had a drop to make.
Well, you wanted to be left alone, remember?
So I'll take one guess. The whole deal went south and the client made off with our pills. Is that about right?
Deal went off without a hitch. Enough ration cards to last us a couple of months, easy.
You want to explain this?
I was on my way back here, and I got jumped by these 2 assholes, all right? And yeah, they got a few good hits in, but... Look, I managed.
Give me that. Are these assholes still with us?
That's funny.
At least find out who they were.
Yeah, look, they were a couple of nobodies. They don't matter. What matters is that Robert fucking sent them.
Our Robert.
He knows that we're after him. He figures he's gonna get us first.
Son of a bitch, he's smart.
No. He's not smart enough. I know where he's hiding.
Like hell you do.
Old warehouse in Area 5. Can't say for how long, though.
Well, I'm ready now, yeah?
Oh, I can do now. Checkpoint's still open.
Only got a few hours left until curfew.
Well, we better hurry up then.
Wait, are you serious?
I got served the damn papers this morning. I've been selected for outside work duty.
Ah, it's such crap.
Attention. Citizens are required to carry a fire ID at all times. Compliance with all city personnel is mandatory.
Look at that. Ration line hasn't opened yet. Must be running low again.
Bullshit. I bet those uniforms over there, they don't get half rations.
Keep your voice down. What's wrong with you?
Whatever, I don't even care anymore. Let them take me.
Just be quiet.
Seems like more people are getting infected.
That just means more people are sneaking.
They fucking lynched him.
Entire squad?
Yeah. Way I heard it, they lined him up in the street and cut him up. Retribution and shit.
I got us
They were
all new
losing control of
papers.
the place.
They shouldn't give us any static. Just play it cool.
All right, drive on through.
See you later. There you go. What's your business here?
Got the day off. Visiting a friend.
All right, move on through. Thanks.
Get out of here! Go! Close it up! Firefly! Fucking shoot him!
Come on, let's get out of here. Let's go, come on.
All civilians must clear the surrounding area immediately.
Looks like the coast is clear.
Attention. Checkpoint 5 is now closed until further notice. All civilians must clear the surrounding area.
So much for the easy route. Patch yourself up, all right? They're gonna close all the checkpoints. We're gonna have to go around the outside.
Outside the wall.
Or we could just let Robert go.
Cute.
Hey, Tess, you see that shit?
I was there. Hey, how's the east tunnel looking?
It's clear. I just used it. No patrols. And where are you off to?
Gonna pay Robert a visit?
You too?
Who else is looking for him?
Marlene? She's been asking around, trying to find him.
Marlene? What do the Fireflies need with Robert?
You think she'd tell me?
Well, what did you tell her?
The truth. I got no idea where he's hiding.
Good man. Hey, you stay out of trouble, all right? Military's gonna be out in force soon.
Yeah, see you around.
Marlene looking for Robert? What do you make of that?
I don't like it. We better find him before the Fireflies do.
This is us.
Hey, guys.
Shit's stirring up out there. How we looking over here?
It's been quiet. No signs of military or infected.
That's what I like to hear. Joel, give me a hand with this. Oh, God, this place reeks. I need to watch what they throw away down here. There be light. Grab our gear. Our backpacks are still here from last time.
Not a lot of ammo.
Make your shots count. All right, Texas. Boost me up. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Come on.
Go on. Be careful.
When am I not?
Got a trick question?
Where's the ladder?
It's got to be around here somewhere. Got it.
Great, bring it over.
Ladies first.
Lady, you must be thinking of someone else.
That's all relative.
This way. Down through here. Think Robert still got our guns?
For his sake, he better.
Look, once we get our merchandise back, it should be easy to unload.
Well, speaking of merchandise, when's that next shipment due?
We'll need Bill next month. More pills, lots of ammo, supposedly.
Yeah, well, he always shows up with something. Should keep us busy for a while.
Hold up. Spores.
Where the hell are all these coming from? The place was clear last time.
They're coming out of something. We stay alert.
There's our culprit.
God, he's not that old. Better keep your eyes and ears open.
We should be able to fit through here.
You okay?
Yeah. Damn ceiling's falling apart. Be careful. This way. Easy. Watch it, watch it. Help me. My mask broke. Don't leave me, sir. Please.
What do you want to do? Poor bastard.